So continuing on the path of my creative process so far, we've reached the watercolor ink drawings. That's what I can call them. So I would just carry around this sketchbook everywhere with me. I found that I can trace the outline of what is on the page, tracing the colors and the shapes, and it was such a soothing process to have this tool to ground, to reset, to be in the present moment, to reconnect with the body, to reconnect with existence in this moment, and just to calm. I was never attached to the specific outcome of anything that I would really create. It would always be about the process and about returning to the moment for me. That's always what it came down to. And then to discover the sand and the glitter. They were really, really fun. So, oh gosh, these were so gorgeous. These were so pretty. So I was a bit obsessed with texture and the materiality of paint and just seeing what would unfold. And this is just where I just let myself be free. I would collage paper as well as layer acrylic paint, and then I would sprinkle a layer of sand over it. And some of the sand would stick, some of it would fall off, and I would just continue to layer with paint and with sand. And then I would add in glitter because fun, because cool, because light, because I just loved it. I just found the different shapes of color and texture that would come from this so much fun to explore and play with. And this, it was all play. This was all play without a thought about what it would have to become. That part always just fogged my brain. But whenever I was just continuing to return to a process and exploring it, I was just so beyond joyful to keep going. I wanted to keep myself creating, I found that if I wasn't actively creating, I just wasn't happy. like I loved having that place to go. I loved having that place to keep me going towards something that I really cared about, that I found interesting, that I loved. And then the pieces were done. And then that project was done. And so at one point I found that I could tear the finished pieces, and they would end up tearing with this beautiful ridge-like formation that kind of looked like a mountain range because of all of the layers of texture, the sand and the glitter. I thought that was just such an interesting visual. I would never be one to really take art very seriously, so I would add little stick figures because I thought they were cute. I thought they were fun. And I never like to take anything creative wise to mean something so depth filled. There was always a certain amount of levity because it was always about the process. It was always about the process. And then I started digital drawing. Digital drawing entered the field of existence, and I was so influenced by the social media brain. I was so influenced by it, and I loved it. I loved illustrating in different ways and experimenting with what I found cool or interesting about it. I found it really fun to be able to get ideas across in ways that I never had before. Things became a bit more story-like. I was really inspired by plants, clearly. And I found it cute and fun to personify the plants, give them little personalities. Like this was my cousin's tomato plant. It was wilting. It looked sad, but it really just needed some stakes to hold up the leaves. And I wrote, I think this might be easier with someone to lean on. Just thought these were sweet. I think that this is where I first started actually expressing something. I think in my art for a while it was always about the process, nothing else. And then at a certain point I was like, oh, I do have something I'm wanting to express through this art. And then